For this Shasta Historical Society video, we are going to provide a type of slideshow instead of an on-site video, since the historical site we will be discussing is inaccessible. Because you see, depending on climate conditions, this site is between 300 and 450 feet beneath the waters of Shasta Lake. In case you haven't guessed it, today we will be talking about the former town of Kennett. About 1888, Charles Butters, a mining engineer who had earlier discovered gold in the area, bought several thousand acres and laid out a town site beside the Sacramento River near the confluence of Backbone Creek. People came to the area in large numbers when the Mammoth Copper Company built a smelter near the town site in 1905, and production at the Mammoth and other area mines increased. Kennett was incorporated in 1911, grew to an eventual population of over 5,000, and became the largest town between Redding and Dunsmuir, and the second largest in Shasta County. Kennett sported several hotels, including 3 named the Kennett Hotel. They varied their spelling between 1 and 2 T's. One of them, locally known as the Galinsky Hotel because of the owner, contained a bar, dining room, and 100 guest rooms, each wired for electricity and sanitary plumbing. The number of saloons in Kennett reached 40 or more during the height of the copper boom. The most famous of these was the Diamond Bar, founded in 1904 by Victor "Slim" Warren. It grew into what was reportedly the fanciest place between San Francisco and Portland, as evidenced by its $15,000 mahogany, marble, and walnut bar, glass grape lighting fixtures imported from France, ornate paintings on the walls, and 3 ceiling murals. Surrounding the business district in the town center, rows of homes spread into the rolling hills. Considered progressive at the time, the Mammoth Copper Company provided multi-room married housing quarters for its smelter employees. The housing for management personnel contained the same luxury furnishings as those in the best parts of Redding. As the town grew and a class-based social system developed, suburbs and shanty towns grew right up to the Mammoth smelter property to the north. The upper class lived in a subdivision established by Charles Butters. The 160-acre subdivision named Bernhardt, after its founder Bernhardt Galinsky, contained middle-class houses. New immigrants who could not afford these areas lived on the outskirts of town in neighborhoods with their own stores, gambling houses, saloons, and a banking system headed by Antonio Caratini. The train station stood on a sweeping curve of track through the middle of Kennett. The town's proximity to the Southern Pacific Main Line boosted the town's stature as business travelers, tradesmen, railroad workers, and miners inevitably passed through the town. Access to the east side of the Sacramento River was reached by ferry. A bridge built in 1915 replaced the ferry and greatly improved access to that side of the river. Smelter employees could walk to work using a swinging bridge across Backbone Creek. The copper boom lasted until the end of World War I, when demand decreased, market prices dropped, and lawsuits over pollution led to the smelter closing in 1919. Afterwards, the smelter opened periodically to process ore, but was dismantled by 1925. With the downturn, people left to look for jobs, and Kennett returned to unincorporated status by 1930. With the building of Shasta Dam, the town's fate was sealed. Prior to the filling of the lake, a few buildings were sold and removed. Some wood buildings were burned down, and bulldozers knocked over many brick and stone structures. Today, the remains of Kennett are at the bottom of the lake about a mile north of the dam, and in its history that we have preserved and remember.